The night before our engagement party, my fiancé slipped away from his bachelor bash to comfort his weepy childhood sweetheart, just the two of them in a hotel suite, his arms around her while he read fairy tales aloud till dawn. When I found out, I shook with rage. "Have you two been crossing the line for a while?" He rolled his eyes. "Are you serious right now? She's only a kid, she's fragile." "What's wrong with me?" calming her down. Then he crawled back into bed and became her human body pillow until she fell asleep. I didn't argue. I didn't throw a fit. I simply slid the ring off my finger, announced the engagement was off, severed every tie to Liam, and flew home to harbor. 2 months later, the paparazzi caught me curled against a new boyfriend's shoulder, smiling so hard my eyes curved. Liam saw the trending shot, scoffed, and told his buddies, "It's just a stunt to make me crawl." She hired an actor. Give it another couple of days. Once I clear my schedule, I'll fly over and bring her back. Have to leave the girl some dignity. His entourage spammed my inbox, praising my brilliant hard-to-get play for keeping Liam hooked. I never answered. Instead, I dropped an official post on Twitter declaring my upcoming wedding. The evening before the original engagement, Liam had messaged, "Bachelor party tonight, guys insisted, can't bail. Sleep tight, see you tomorrow." I replied, "Don't drink too much." Then silence. At 3 a.m. my phone vibrated. Not Liam, Jamie, one of his groomsmen. A cryptic text, "Sis, you aren't just soft-hearted. Please don't read into it." Attached, a dim photo snapped in some hotel room. Liam half reclined on a sofa, a girl in a white sundress tucked under his arm, her long hair spilling over his chest, face buried against him. His head was bowed, a hardback in his hand, pure shielding tenderness. Even in ashes I'd know that silhouette, Vivian. My heart felt clenched by an icy fist, blood rushing to my skull then draining away, leaving every limb cold and numb. Zooming in, I confirmed the title embossed on the cover, "Little Taylor," glinting like broken glass. Bachelor party, hotel room, cradling Vivian, reading bedtime stories. I called. It rang forever before he answered, voice husky with sleep and annoyance. "Yeah. Why are you awake? Where are you?" My tone was eerily calm, almost weightless. "Told you, bachelor party. Just wrapped, crashing at the hotel. Big day tomorrow, go to sleep." "Who's with you?" A pause, sharper irritation. "Jade, what now?" "The guys are here." "Who else? Is Vivian there?" Silence. Then, louder, "Did you put a PI on me? Or did Jamie flap his mouth again?" "Vivian's upset, crying her eyes out. I walked her to her room to settle her, that's it. She's like my kid sister, stop being paranoid. Settling her requires spooning? Requires fairy tales? Requires the whole night." My voice began to tremble, not from sorrow, from fury that rattled every cell. "Liam, have you two been screwing around for ages?" "Oh, come on," he exploded. "She's just a girl. Emotionally frail." Me, the big brother, soothing her, "What's your problem? We're getting engaged tomorrow. She's 22, not 12. I shouted. "A girl? Tell me, Liam, when was the last time you soothed your fiancé? When I'm breaking down, where are you? With your little girl. You can't compare yourself to her." The words shot out, coated in entitlement, a poisoned icicle straight to my heart. "You're Jade. You're A-list, you've got everything, you're unbreakable. Vivian's pure, she's alone in this industry, only I can protect her. Can't you be generous? Mature, generous, mature." Tears fell without warning, no grief left, just scalding tears of incredulity and rage. For 2 years I'd watched him ditch me for Vivian's every call or text, watched him lobby directors for her, watched him fight her battles. Everyone said, "Lucky Jade, snagged the young prince of Harbor." Only I knew this prince carried a fragile damsel he'd always place before me. I thought marriage would redraw the lines. I thought patience would earn me priority. Naive. "So you're still in her room?" I wiped my cheeks, voice glacial. "Yeah. Nightmare, she's scared, I'll stay a bit." "Quit interrogating me. I'm beat, see you tomorrow." "No, you won't." "What?" "No tomorrow." I inhaled, every word diamond hard. "Liam, we're done. Engagement's off." "Jade, don't push your luck," he roared. I hung up, block deleted, powered off, no hesitation. At the vanity I studied my swollen yet eerily serene face and slid the dazzling ring from my left hand. The diamond still sparkled, ice cold. I laid it inside its velvet box and shut the lid. No tantrums, no sobbing, no second thoughts. I opened the closet and packed. Little to take anyway, most of my life waited in harbor. I'd flown in mainly for the ceremony and to support Liam's mainland projects. Near dawn I booked a ride to the airport. In the lounge I powered on my phone, ignored the barrage of missed calls and iMessages, and texted Naomi. Sis, engagements cancelled. Back in harbor. Stall or scrap every joint project, penalties on me. Radio silence for now. She rang immediately. I declined, texting I'm alive. Need quiet. As the plane lifted and clouds tumbled past, the suffocating ache eased, replaced by hollow calm and a seed of cold resolve. Harbor's air smelled of brine and rain. I holed up in my Repulse Bay penthouse, switched off my phone, unplugged the landline, vanished. Naomi respected the exile, sending daily groceries and supplies to my door. For 48 hours I slept like the dead, repaying 2 years of emotional debt. When awake I ate, watched movies, stared at the sea, no tears, no replay. On the third afternoon the bell rang, Naomi. I let her in. She scanned me. Still recognizable. Eyes puffy, though. She dropped 2 tote bags, sighing. Talk. Cases blown up my line. Liam's mom says you're melodramatic. I showed her Jamie's photo. Color drained from her face. She swore inventively. The night before your engagement. Spooning and bedtime stories. Is his brain leaking? And Vivian, what a script. His soulmate, fragile as blown glass, I said flatly. He claims she's a child. Says I'm harsh, unsympathetic. Bull. Cuddling another woman is textbook cheating, at minimum emotional. Cancelling the wedding? Best move ever. I'll fight Casey, penalties won't touch you. We'll torch their reputation. The last ember of warmth inside me cooled into armor. Days later I restarted my phone. It vibrated itself witless, most messages from Liam's circle. Jamie, sis, Yuan regrets it, come on. Riley, Jade, his frantic. Vivian's history, he swears. Strangers preached, Yuan only loves you, all men stray, don't overdose on pride. At the bottom, Liam's chain of voice memos and texts. Rage, Jade, enough. Pick up. Impatience, ring off. Wedding off, who do you think you are? Semi-apology, Vivian's dad humiliated her, she almost hurt herself. I read to calm her, nothing happened. Stop overreacting. Finally, a regal concession, fine, I was clumsy. Sorry. Return, let's finish the ceremony. Guests, media, everyone's waiting. Don't embarrass me. Vivian's banned. Satisfied? Not a ripple in my chest, only dark amusement. That's Liam. Never wrong, merely merciful. I deleted and blocked every sender. Peace returned. Work resumed, low-key brand dinners. Reporters circled like sharks. I smiled. Personal decision, mutual parting. Focus on career now, Emery for concern. Frost glinted behind the smile. Naomi muffled the story on the mainland, yet Harbor's elite chewed it over, some sympathetic, some mocking. I didn't care until a magazine editor friend whispered, Vivian told some podcast, certain bonds surpass romance, grateful for the guardian who feels like family, hope no one misunderstands. Bath. She's milking your clout. Predictable. Once Liam enabled her, now irrelevant. Another week, Naomi barged in, eyes rolling. Liam still believes in destiny. She showed me his latest post. A night skyline captioned, some views are once in a lifetime. When work ends I'll fetch my moon home. Comments, you aren't the romantic, come back, sister-in-law. My stomach flipped. Naomi snorted. Thinks life's a K-drama? Harbor isn't his set. I shrugged. Let him dream. But ignoring him only fed the circus. Burner numbers texted sermons, Jade, know when to stop. Yuan's offered the ladder, descend before it's gone. A catch like Yuan tolerates a few confidants. Be smart. Return, the wedding budget balloons. Your stunt worked, congrats. My fingertips went numb. A stunt. Desperate acting, they mistook my pain for strategy, Liam for a god pulling puppet strings. Very well. Let's discover who actually needs whom. Half a month after my flight back, Gideon called. The name flashed and I blinked. Chairman of Cross Holdings, Harbor's silent apex predator, older than me by a few years, heir to the legendary mid-levels mansion. Our families were old Harbor friends. We'd played as kids, but stardom and boardrooms rarely overlapped. His reason: Miss Sterling, excuse the intrusion. While archiving, Mother found letters and photos your grandma once stored with us. She asked me to return them personally. Valid, polite, airtight. I accepted. Next evening I drove up the gated hill to Jordan. A butler led me to the library, dark timber, antique globes, faint cigar ghosts. Gideon arrived minutes later, night mist clinging to his charcoal shirt. Up close the rumors felt understated, hawk-like gaze, voice like velvet over steel. Apologies for the delay. He placed an inlaid sandalwood box on the coffee table. Mother insisted everything stay intact. The air went still for a moment. His gaze landed on my face, direct, yet not offensive. Miss Sterling, have you run into some Cameron lately? He asked suddenly, tone flat. I lifted my eyes to him. With the Cross Intelligence Network, it was no surprise he knew about Liam. Already handled, I said. He gave a small nod, offered no fake sympathy, no follow-up questions. He simply lifted the teapot and poured me a cup himself. Harbor's weather has been unstable. Take care, Miss Sterling. An ordinary sentence, but spoken by him it carried an inexplicable steadiness, as though all those ugly matters were merely tiny Camerons that need never be mentioned again once they'd passed. We exchanged a few more meaningless pleasantries. The atmosphere never turned awkward. He knew exactly where the line was, neither too warm nor too cold. When I left Jordan it was late in the night. I carried the wooden box to the car and was just reaching for the door when Gideon followed me out. Miss Sterling, he called. The downhill road is rough at this hour. Let me drive you. No Cameron, my chauffeur's waiting, I said, pointing not far off. He glanced over and didn't insist. All right, Morgan. The car started and pulled away. In the mirror I watched him still standing at the gate, tall as a pine against the night, until the bend swallowed his silhouette. Something inside me stirred. This man was as unfathomable as the rumors claimed, yet also, not quite. In the weeks that followed we bumped into each other several times, at charity galas, at friends' gatherings. Each time he was impeccably polite. We might chat a little, never over the line, never letting the air cool. Then, at an intimate art show, we happened to stop before the same abstract canvas. You're reading, Miss Sterling? He asked abruptly. I stared at the paint red so thick it seemed ready to drip, lines tangled like entrails, and finally said, like a hysterical carnival, or the last struggle before annihilation. He tilted his head, a flicker of amusement crossed his eyes. Precise. I thought you might say, passionate love. Love. I tugged the corner of my mouth. Maybe it starts crimson, but in the end it either fades to pallor or congeals into this hopeless bruise purple. Only after the words escaped did I realize how raw they sounded. Before I could soften them he said, perhaps. Yet there's another possibility. His voice remained even, eyes back on the canvas. After every ruin, new blossoms sprout in the rubble. Paler, perhaps, but tougher and real. I looked up, startled. He wasn't watching me. It might have been a casual remark. Still, something inside me shifted. From that night on, our contact subtly increased. Now and then he texted, sharing a book he thought I'd enjoy, or asking my opinion on a piece headed for auction. I answered naturally. Naomi scented prey the moment I mentioned it. Gideon. Interested in you? Impossible, I said at once. Family courtesy plus a dash of sympathy because I just called off an engagement. Cut it out. She snorted. That man doesn't do sympathy. If he invests time, it's serious. And Jade, this is a thigh so thick it dwarfs Liam by 1,000 miles. Plus, the Cross clan has standards. Dylan, never a whiff of scandal. I stayed silent, mind in turmoil. Did I feel something for Gideon? Perhaps. He was mature, powerful, composed. I felt respected, even safe, something Liam had never given me. Yet I'd just crawled out of a battlefield, bleeding. Dare I? Before I could decide, Liam struck again. Someone showed him photos of me at a recent low-key event, looking recovered. Thinking my tantrum was over, he rang from a new number. "Jade," he crowed, sure of victory, "that's enough drama. I'm in harbor on business, I'll pick you up in 2 days. I'll brief the press, call it a misunderstanding, say we're solid." My stomach lurched at his patronizing tone. "Liam," I said frost-cold, "I do believe I told you we are done. Do you not understand English, or shall I book you a neurologist?" "Jade." His voice dropped, still nauseatingly tolerant. "Stop being proud. You're just punishing me, right? Fine, I shouldn't have spent that night with Vivian. It won't happen again. Happy? Pack up, wait for me." Without pause he added, "Vivian wants to apologize in person. She's just a kid, don't hold it against her." "Apologize? Vivian?" My last ember of nostalgia turned to ash. "Listen," I cut in, each word iced. 1. We are strangers, past, present, future. 2. Your childhood sweetheart can live or die, it's none of my business, and I never want to see either of you again. 3. Bother me once more and I won't mind releasing the CCTV of you comforting your sister the night before our engagement. "You wouldn't dare," he roared. "Watch me." I hung up and block-deleted the number. Heart pounding, I opened WhatsApp and tapped the quiet avatar, Gideon. "Ellis, are you free tomorrow? You mentioned a new French place, may I treat you to dinner?" Almost instantly, "The honor is mine. You choose the time." The date felt effortless. The restaurant hushed, the food exquisite. He pulled out chairs, guided me through the menu, never pried, never let conversation wilt. He listened, really listened, soothing knots I hadn't noticed. No forced flirtation, just steady warmth. He saw me home. At the lobby he opened the door, said simply, "Morgan your evening, Miss Sterling. Emery your company, Ellis." I smiled. I headed for the elevator, glanced back on impulse. He leaned against his car, cigarette ember glowing. Seeing me, he lifted a hand, then slipped inside and drove off. That tiny gesture left a ripple. We began meeting often, dinners, exhibitions, aimless walks along the pier. Naomi had nailed it. Gideon never squandered time. His purpose emerged, wrapped in old-world patience, slow, certain steps forward. And I, after cautious circling, lowered my guard. With Liam passion had scorched and scarred, with Gideon calm waters ran deep. He was too immense to prove himself by belittling me, and his universe had room for my pride, my edges. I was simply Jade. Late afternoon, more than a month later, we watched the sun sink into the sea. The wind strengthened, he draped his suit jacket over my shoulders, cedar and warmth. "Jade," he said, first time without the formal address, voice low against the surf, "I know your history, and perhaps this feels fast. But I prefer plain speaking. I'm serious about you. Not impulse, not circumstance, just you. If you feel you can, grant me the chance to court you properly." The lighthouse beam swept his profile. I studied him, pulse skittering. "Gideon. I'm freshly out of a wreck. I may not. I understand," he cut in gently. "I'm in no hurry. Observe, consider. I only ask permission to come nearer, to treat you well." He waited, breeze rustling my hair. He tucked a strand behind my ear. A faint shiver ran down my neck. "All right," I breathed at last. "Yes." A spark flared in his eyes, the faintest smile on his lips. "Emery." After that, his courtship was official, remembering a film I casually mentioned and delivering premiere tickets the next day, sending warm supper and blankets to night shoots, making unkind headlines vanish without my asking. He never tried to invade every corner, yet appeared whenever I needed. I began responding, initiating plans, sharing stories, letting his fingers intertwine with mine on the boardwalk. Then a sudden trending tag shattered the calm. #Jude Mystery Man. Grainy shots us at the private art show, me pointing at crimson chaos, Gideon leaning in, another of his hand at my waist as we exited. Blurred but recognizable. The internet blew up. Jade rebounds so fast. She staged the breakup. That man's aura screams power, who is he? Looks familiar. Commentary split. Praise, curses, curiosity. Naomi rang, excited. "It's Gideon." Do we announce or bury it? Reading the venomous posts, obvious Liam paid trolls, I smiled coldly. Let it breathe. No denial, no confirmation. Within hours, netizens connected the bespoke suit, the rare watch, the guest list. Every clue led to one name, Gideon. #Jade Gideon detonated, scarlet boom beside it. Harbor City's silent apex magnet dating the jilted screen queen? Frenzy. Scorn turned to awe, envy, vicious speculation. She's clawed higher, must have used dark arts etc., but the noise slid off me. I never opened the threads, I knew Gideon would handle it. That afternoon an investment arm of Cross Holdings reposted the gossip with a single word, congratulations. No elaboration, none needed. Heavyweight harbor elites followed with likes. The narrative was set in stone. To me, this was the quiet settling of dust, a promise of stability. To certain others, it was a bolt of lightning on a cloudless day. My phone detonated again with unknown mainland numbers. Texts, WhatsApp requests, wave after wave, shock, disbelief, then fury, accusation, venom. Jade, you freaking legend. Hooking Gideon that fast. No wonder you dumped Liam so cleanly. You ditched Yuan just to climb higher. Stop acting pure, slut. Gideon's only sampling. Once he's bored, you'll crash and burn. Vivian was right, you're a schemer. Liam must have been blind. Most were from Liam's bros, a few from Vivian's fringe players. Reading the hate, I felt only bleak amusement. They were imploding. They couldn't stomach the woman they swore can't live without Liam, the one playing hard to get, thriving, and in a blink landing a man who eclipses him in pedigree, power, and sheer magnetism. It shattered their universe, slapped every face at once. I answered none. I simply block-deleted another batch. Naomi fielded the conciliation calls, dripping sarcasm. Who's this? Jade's fabulous, thanks. Ellis? Crazy about her, jealous? Doesn't suit you. Liam wouldn't concede. His ego would never admit defeat, least of all to Gideon. 3 nights after our relationship hit the headlines, a reporter from a big mainland weekly rang Naomi offering an exclusive spun from the Hayes boys' side. Naomi laughed. Angle? Like Liam cuddling his childhood BFF in a hotel suite reading fairy tales? I've clips, guaranteed viral. Click. Dial tone. When honey fails, bring vinegar. Smear pieces surfaced. Old song diva tantrums, schedule hog, sugar daddy climb, now with chorus of Liam's devotion and my betrayal, hinting I snared Gideon by unsavory means. Paid trolls pumped it, comments turned swampy. Actresses, no hearts. Alex gave everything, she chased bigger vaults. Gideon's seen starlets before, he'll wise up. Waiting for him to dump her. Naomi wanted nukes, lawyers, PR shock troops. I raised a hand. Wait. They'll charcoal you by breakfast. I scrolled, ice cold. Tactics straight from Vivian's playbook, maybe a Liam team tantrum. They thought sludge could stain me, could wedge Gideon and me apart. Infants. Before we lifted a finger, Cross Holdings legal stirred. Libel suits slapped the loudest bloggers. Damages Celine. A flagship outlet ran a feature dissecting cybersmears and defamation law, scalpel sharp, never naming me, labeling orchestrators vicious and squalid. A couple of loudmouth bit-part actors lost campaigns overnight. Harbour knew, Gideon was mopping up. Within Sam the smear wave was erased, root and stem. No drama, no argument, pure leverage pulverizing noise. That is Gideon's style, explain nothing, simply crush the mess with gravity. In my penthouse I watched the internet fall silent, relief mingled with something heavier, not dependence, but the security of an unbreachable shield. His call arrived on cue. Handled, he said. Emery, no need. A beat. Jade, remember, while I'm here, no one touches you. Plain words, yet they settled on my chest like hot stone. Okay. Charity gala tomorrow, walk with me? Yes. It wasn't an invitation, it was a declaration to every lurking eye. I accepted gladly. Next evening, arm in arm on the red carpet, we were the only story. Flashes burst like white suns. I wore simple black satin, his midnight classic, shoulders ruler straight. No PDA required, our silhouette alone shouted synergy. Inside, whispers bowed into greetings. He introduced me to dynastic patriarchs with solemn pride, their eyes measured and, for the first time, approved. A passport to Harbour's stratosphere, no rumours, just fact. What Liam never possessed, Gideon set before me without fanfare. Mid-gala I slipped to the lounge. Touching up lipstick, I returned via a hushed corridor and found Vivian. Pink tulle, doe eyes, selfie pose, gaze flicking toward the ballroom. Seeing me, she blinked, then mustered her trademark timid smile. "Jade. Fancy meeting you." I halted, gaze cool. Her smile tightened, eyes tallying my jewelry, my dress. "You look amazing. Everyone's speechless seeing you with Ellis. He's so attentive, lucky you." Same script. "Something on your mind?" I asked, voice flat. She nibbled her lip. I know you might misunderstand. Liam's like a brother, always protective. If that hurt you, I'm sorry." Eyes glassy on cue. Once, this act might have sickened me, now it's carnival. "Miss Vale," I cut in, calm as still water. 1. I'm done with Liam, his business is yours. 2. Your bond is yours to manage. 3. I stepped closer, whispered at her ear, "Save the tears for Liam." Here I straightened, gave her a winter-thin smile, "They're worthless." I walked away, heels crisp on marble, her glare a poisoned needle between my shoulder blades irrelevant. Back in the hall Gideon's hand found my waist. "Long line. Fly in the lounge." Swatted. He passed me water. "Tired? We can exit whenever." I leaned nearer. Later, curbside, he opened the car door. Night air carried sea salt. He laced my fingers. "You handled it well. I can't hide forever." His gaze darkened, voice rougher. "Jade, let's get engaged." Shock pulsed. His eyes held 0 maybe. "It might seem fast, but I won't give room for more Cameron or confusion. I want the world to know you're my fiancé." Surf muted, my heartbeat didn't. This man restored every shard of my pride. "Yes," I heard myself say. His smile, rare, soft, surfaced. He brushed my forehead with a kiss as light as breath. Gideon's speed is kinetic. Third morning post-gala Naomi cannonballed in waving an embossed card. "Engagement party, Jordan, next month. Did you hex him?" Even Rocket's taxi. The parchment, a single cream sheet, bore our names side by side, engraving deep enough to leave grooves in history. "He said he wouldn't wait," I answered. His marking territory so hard the pavement's smoking. She dropped her voice. "Word is Liam went nuclear, almost came to blows with his old man. He's still in the mainland but inbound, brace for fireworks." I closed the invitation. "He can come. Spectators don't rewrite endings." Naomi exhaled, patted my shoulder. With Gideon around his waves max out at ankle slap. Dress, diamonds, run sheet, Celine. "The family's making it clear you matter." Respect, yes, but mostly him. He'll gift me the flawless spectacle that seals rumor's mouth. Days blur, fittings, stones, media lockdowns. Gideon shelves an overseas acquisition to sit through wedding gown couture. When I step out in white silk, train pooling like liquid moonlight, his reflection shows awe and utter tenderness. "Gorgeous," he murmurs, hands resting on my shoulders. "Too much." "Nothing is too much for you." Every gear clicks, Cross Holdings machine oil slick, leak-proof. But calm summons the storm. 7 nights before the party Liam's number surfaces again. I watch it ring itself mute. Texts follow, pick up, talk. This is madness. "Do you even know Gideon's world? He'll chew you up. Come back, anything you want. You're forcing my hand, Jade." I read, stone-faced, then block delete once more. His forcing isn't rhetoric. Next dawn Vivian tweets a night skyline captioned, "Some companions never change, from childhood till now. Emery for always being there." Timestamp, 2 a.m. Sleuths pin the locale, Liam's luxury complex, mainland side. Comment, "Vines sprout overnight." Stand by Vivian, "True love endures." Murrin, "Some flaunt rings, some guard hearts." Liam, "Open your eyes." Paid trolls shove the narrative, paint Liam the wounded romantic, Vivian the loyal soulmate, me the heartless climber. Naomi fumes. "I'll get Ellis on it, nuke them. Don't bother. Their punchlines writing themselves." The public smells stunt. Mocking memes multiply. 2 a.m. companionship, how intimate. Incestuous bedtime stories. Ex-fiancé upgrades. Side chick publicizes curfew. Nobody needed Gideon's artillery. Liam and Vivian become their own gag reel. Vivian's side probably never expected the fire they started would burn them back. They rushed to delete the tweet, but screen caps had already spread everywhere. The fiasco not only failed to disgust me, it only confirmed the murky more-than-friends status between Liam and Vivian, leaving both of them reeking of scandal. I thought that was their final struggle. I didn't expect something even more outrageous the day before the engagement banquet. Liam actually flew to harbour, and, through God knows what channel, got hold of the guest list for the cross-engagement party and tried to sneak in. Of course, cross bodyguards barred him at the gates of Jordan. When the news reached Gideon and me, already inside Jordan doing last-minute prep, Gideon only slightly furrowed his brow and told the housekeeper, inviting Grid to leave. If he won't cooperate, call the police. I stood on the second-floor terrace. I could see the main gate in the distance. Liam seemed to be arguing with the guards, emotionally jabbing his finger toward the mansion, but the distance was too great to hear. He looked disheveled, none of that famous golden boy aura left. In the end, he was still invited away. Gideon walked to my side and handed me a glass of warm milk. "Did the noise bother you?" I shook my head and took the milk. "No, I just found it kind of funny." Following my gaze toward the gate, he spoke evenly, "Someone irrelevant, no need to waste brain cells." Engagement day dawned bright and sunny. Jordan occupies the finest perch on mid-levels, overlooking Victoria. Inside and out, the mansion had been meticulously dressed. White blooms interlaced with emerald foliage, majestic yet elegant. Every guest was either staggeringly rich or scandalously famous. Harbour's political, business, and celebrity elite were all present, plus a few reclusive tycoons normally impossible to invite. Some prominent families from the mainland who enjoyed good relations with the Cross clan had also flown in representatives. The press was restricted to clearly marked outer zones. Only a few officially credentialed outlets were allowed within range of the ceremony, and only after signing the cross rule sheet. I'd risen early for hair and makeup. The gown, white satin wedding gown. The jewels, cross family heirloom antique diamonds. The stylist's handiwork rendered me dazzling while still me. Naomi, my stand-in family plus manager, followed me around, equal parts tense and elated. "Jade, I'll bet you anything after today the whole of Harbour, no, the entire Chinese-speaking cosmos, will bow to Jade." I looked in the mirror at the bright, flawlessly made-up eyes. From today onward I would present myself as Gideon's fiancé, but that didn't mean I had become any man's accessory. Precisely because I stood beside Gideon, the spotlight on me would finally shine without obstruction. Gideon came to fetch me personally. That day he wore a white tailcoat that matched my gown, immaculate, arresting. When he saw me, undisguised awe and softness flashed in his eyes. He stopped in front of me and held out his hand. "Ready, future Mrs. Cross?" I laid my fingers in his warm palm and answered with a small, real smile. "Let's go." The moment we stepped into the banquet hall's entrance, the crowd hushed. Every glass, every hushed conversation, collapsed into one gaze. Envy, curiosity, admiration, critique, all folded into one bright, hot flash on us. Gideon looked unruffled, my hand secure in his as we glided to the room's center. His parents, Mr. Senior and Clara, were already waiting. Each radiated old-world elegance, and both gave me looks that were kindly, almost tender in their warmth. Clara even stepped forward to give me a gentle embrace, whispering into my ear, "Welcome, good girl." A short, formal ceremony followed under the MC's direction, exchange of tokens, speeches from senior family members, the cutting of our engagement cake, simple yet profound. When it was time for Gideon to speak, he took the mic, eyes traveling across the room then settling on mine. "Thank you all for joining us today," his calm voice floated through the speakers. "For me this isn't mere formality." He paused, eyes locked on me. "Jade is independent, she is strong, she has opinions, she has vulnerabilities. She deserves the finest this world can offer. And I'm lucky enough to have the chance for the rest of my days to shield her from harm, to grant her peace." Not a single flowery line, yet every syllable landed like a vow. Applause thundered through the hall, many older women dabbed their eyes. I looked up at him, mind feeling hot, moved, not by sentimentality, but by being so completely seen and treasured. Post-ceremony came mingle time. Gideon's arm rested around my waist as he guided me to greet the big hitters, a silent statement of both protection and ownership. Everything unfolding like a dream until a server leaned towards Gideon and whispered in his ear. A faint frown flashed over Gideon's features, instantly gone. He dipped his head to me. "Small fire," he murmured. "I'll be right back." "Wait here or join Mother." "Sure," I said. He gave my hand a reassuring squeeze and disappeared toward the side parlor. Something felt off, although I kept smiling and chatting with the matrons in front of me. A few minutes later Naomi's face blanched. She hurried over, passing me a flute of champagne. "Liam somehow slipped in," she hissed. "Making a scene in the side parlor because he needs to see you." "Ellis just went in." My stomach dipped. "Of course him." "I'll go," I said. "Don't," she hissed back. "Let Ellis handle it." "It's fine," I answered, my voice calm. "Some words are overdue. Today works." She couldn't stop me, only tail my steps through the crowd. 2 guards outside the parlor exchanged anxious glances but let me push the door. Tension snapped like a live wire across the small room. Liam stood in the middle, suit creased, hair mussed, eyes crimson, piercing the man opposite him. Gideon remained calmly poised, handsome features carved from ice. He barely looked at the intruder, more like observing trash he hadn't ordered anyone to remove yet. Both had turned when I entered. "Ingrid," Liam whispered, taking a step. The moment he moved, Gideon's arm slashed the air, halting him. "Liam, check this location," Gideon murmured, authority crackling low voltage under his calm. "Show some self-respect." "I don't care," he yelled, eyes fixed over Gideon's arm. "Jade. Look at me, I'm here. I was wrong. Look please. Dump this engagement and come back. I beg you, let's start over. You set the rules. I'll never glance Vivian Ward again, I promise." His sentences tumbled on one another, deranged, not a speck left of the celebrated Hayes air. I studied him as if he were someone I'd never met. "Liam," I began, my voice echoing in the still room, "this is our engagement party. You were never invited. Your crashing it is grotesque. Please leave." "I will not." He yelled the words, finger stabbing toward Gideon. "All this is just revenge drama, right? You don't love him, you love Emmy. Jade, look at me and say it. I love him." I cut right through his hysteria, each syllable a hammer strike. His ragged voice choked into silence. I stepped forward by Gideon's side, my hand sliding into his armchair like, announcing whose team I bat for. His body tensed a fraction then relaxed under my fingers, arm tightening around me. "Liam, listen closely," I said, every word slow and precise. "I don't love you. From the night you wrapped yourself, Vivian beside you, reciting bedtime fairy tales, you killed the last shred inside me. I stand today, Gideon's fiancé, not for spite or revenge or to catch your eye, but because I love him and he loves me. Only that matters. You and Vivian, your so-called endless love, means dust to me now. Leave, before I or the Cross employees have to manhandle you out." "That would be ugly." His face cycled from red to death pale under my calm voice, finally bloodless and hollow. He tried to speak, produced no sound. Then Gideon, almost bored, signaled the guards. "Escort Ingrid out. Do it with courtesy. The 2 took a silent step each side of Liam, guiding the wreck of a man out of the parlor. The door clicked shut. Outside the carnival, inside only us 2. Gideon gazed down, emotions unreadable but none showing doubt or hesitation. "That was perfection," he said, voice rough with something deeper than praise. I fell into his chest, listening to the steady heartbeat, and, first time ever, I rose on my toes and brought my mouth to his. He inhaled, taking control to deepen the kiss into a statement that we belonged, full stop. When he finally let me up, foreheads together, he whispered, "Ready?" Our party isn't over. After the engagement party, the press confirmed our marriage as sealed fact. Harbor media wrote paeans calling us a match made in heaven and a pairing of powerhouses. Those old rumors about Liam and that tiny serf Vivian raised disappeared in this new tidal wave of praise. Liam's meltdown at Jordan was promptly suppressed by security, so large-scale reports never hit, but within private circles he became the punchline of the year. Apparently he left for the mainland the same day. Neither he nor Vivian resurfaced for a long after. My life entered a new phase. I was still working, but with the cross-family name above mine, every door opened effortlessly before me. Resources that previously required weeks of lobbying now showed up uninvited. Naomi didn't stop grinning, saying it was my redemption after every wrong had been righted. Gideon's schedule was hectic, but he made time to appear with me in public. We soon developed routines like any couple about to walk the aisle, tranquil, cozy, threaded with unspoken mutual care. He never missed my menstrual days, ordering the housekeeper to brew ginger brown sugar tea in advance. When he pulled all-nighters at the office, I dropped by with slow-simmered soups on my day off. We saw movies on weekends, or we stayed in reading, listening to albums. Once in a while he invited me to private corporate soirees, introducing me to his social orbit properly. Life was perfect, almost too perfect to remember the mess of the past. Then, more than a month later, Naomi materialized in my dressing room, clutching a file and barely containing her glee. "Look at this," she blurted, shoving the folder at me. Inside rested a market analysis of a recently hot mainland rookie suddenly gifted several grade A projects, Iris pointing toward Sylvie as the silent sponsor. Nothing surprising, Sylvie has always had some entertainment roots. Propping up a newcomer is standard. But Naomi tapped the appendix where contracts and Venmo transfers are glued. "Check these numbers and the receiving party," she whispered at me. "These budgets technically leave Sylvie's account, but the final interests flow toward a shell culture company under Vivian's name." I scanned the tricky clauses and hidden cash flow, brow furrowing. "Liam is using Sylvie to wash resources for Vivian," I said slowly. "Using cross-money and pipelines to elevate yet another project where Vivian siphons rewards." "Exactly." Naomi slapped the tabletop. "And the method is reckless and lazy. He thinks I'm locked down for good, might as well smash the jar to pieces." Probably Vivian whispered in his ear while the lamp was out, he's lost all bearings. "Casey just stands by while Liam empties their tank to water Vivian's vine?" I asked, baffled. The Hayes clan might not be cross-level, but they're respectable. Stripping the company naked for a mistress defies imagination. "That's why a huge meltdown is coming." Naomi dropped her voice to a gossip rasp. "I heard Liam's father, current board chairman of Sylvie, has been hospitalized with stress. Uncles and aunt directors are forming alliance to freeze accounts and launch auditing. Vivian's shell company may already be on tax and anti-gambling bureau radar." I closed the report, pulse calm. Whatever they reap now is exactly what they sowed. "Our hands stay clear," I told Naomi, sliding the file back. "Their mess is their own." "Absolutely," she chirped, stashing the folder. "Pure catharsis for us to watch. But really, Jade, I don't get Vivian. A couple million cash and some mid-tier dramas are worth ruining the Hayes heir. Once the family decides he is costing real dollars, they'll cut her." I shook my head. "Vivian is cunning in a small den way. She can count to $20 but never to the price of destroying a century firm. She only feels the pampering under Liam's blindfold, never sees the family axe above her head and the moment the cost outweighs the benefit." That night Harbour's gossip feeds flashed a modest scandal: Vivian's low-budget web drama abruptly yanked from the platform for technical adjustment. The next day several microbrand contracts declared void in the same tone. Her planned variety acts and magazine shootings all evaporated under the reasoned schedule conflicts. The trade papers began saying she is soft-banned for moral misbehavior, third-party interference, related to inappropriate economic behavior. Around the same moment Sylvie issued a terse HR announcement stripping Liam of all responsibilities at the holding, pending reassignment. Translation: he's been politically shot. The former poster children of sibling soul are now one on life support career and one with a broken family crown, both collapsing in real time. Naomi updated me daily like she was following a soap. Word is she knelt at the Hayes ancestral gates bawling. Guards tossed her. Liam tried to rescue a project and was kicked out, buying whiskey bottles every night. Fresh scoop: Vivian's shell company being investigated, suspected of tax fraud and laundering. She's been subpoenaed 6 times already. I listened and offered a mild smile. No emotion left, like watching two strangers trip over their own badly written farce toward a dismal curtain line. Their fate was sealed the night Liam chose Vivian's pillow. My script, on the other hand, was turning to the next page under bright morning light. That evening Gideon returned from work with no evening agenda. After dinner we parked ourselves on the sofa before the floor-to-ceiling window frame watching the glittering skyline across Victoria. "The goings-on at Casey. You heard?" he asked lightly while our hands intertwined. "Yeah," I answered, leaning into his shoulder. "Naomi gave me the bulletins." The city lights winked on, and neither of us brought the past downtown again. We were busy, writing our own headlines. "They came to me," Gideon said. I blinked, tilting my head to look at him. His expression was calm. "Liam's father asked a go-between to set up a meeting. Probably wants to see if there's room to maneuver, or at least keep Liam from looking like a total fool." "Did you go?" "No." Gideon's answer was instant. "No need." He slipped an arm around my shoulders and eased me back against him. "Their Cameron is self-inflicted. It has nothing to do with me, and even less to do with you. You don't pay for anyone else's mistakes, and you don't carry any guilt." Warmth spread through my chest. He knew that, even if I never said it aloud, the past still left scars. In his own way he was telling me, "Look forward, I'm right here. Whatever came before, let it die yesterday. Whatever comes next, let it be born today." Liam's side story. The first time Liam realized he might have lost Jade for good was the moment the trending photo hit his screen. It showed Jade resting against a man's shoulder, eyes curved in a smile he had never seen on her, relaxed, radiant. Even through the grainy pixels, the happiness punched straight into his heart. What stung more was the man, Gideon, chairman of Harbour's Cross Holdings, someone even his father addressed respectfully as Ellis. "Staged," Liam scoffed, tossing the phone onto the sofa in the private club lounge. "She wants me to crawl, so she hired an actor." Jamie ventured carefully, "Far, but the picture looks." "Looks what?" Liam cut him off, irritated. "You guys know Jade. She's thrown tantrums before. This is just a bigger performance." Riley poured him a drink, smiling apologetically. "Right, sis always calms down after a few days. This time you really hurt her. Fly over, coax her, done deal." Liam emptied the glass. The burn did nothing to smother the restless heat inside. He glanced again at the screen, Gideon's hand resting casually at Jade's waist, as if it belonged there. "Give it 2 more days, he drawled, the same lazy tone he always used. "Once I clear my schedule I'll fly over and bring her back. Gotta save her pride," he added, convincing the brothers, convincing himself. The room brightened, the guys cheered, praising his play-hard-to-get move, claiming Jade's stunt only made him want her more. Liam tugged a smile, but it never reached his eyes. He opened WhatsApp and scrolled to the dormant chat. His last message, delivered 2 months ago, floated beneath the red exclamation mark. "When you're done acting up, come home. Don't keep me waiting." His thumb hovered, then backed out. He opened Vivian's thread instead. "What are you doing?" he typed. Almost instantly running lines. "Director yelled at me all day." A pitiful sticker followed. Liam frowned. "Who's messing with you?" "Tell me." "It's nothing. I'm just dumb. If Jade were here she'd help, her acting's perfect." Reading that, the vague irritation flared again. He remembered that night 2 months earlier, the eve of their engagement party. It had started with rowdy buddies and too much tequila. Half drunk, he took Vivian's call. She was sobbing, claiming her father called her a disgrace, threatening self-harm. The alcohol sobered fast. Vivian was fragile. What if she did something stupid? At the hotel she wore a white nightgown, huddled in a corner, eyes swollen. She threw herself into his arms, shaking. He patted her back for ages until she hiccuped that she missed childhood nights when he read fairy tales to chase away nightmares. "Read me Little Taylor again, just once," she pleaded, face streaked with tears, a startled fawn. What could he do? He only meant to comfort a little sister. So he held her, leaned against the headboard, opened the gilt-edged book and, in a gentleness foreign to his own ears, recited childish lines. She calmed, curled in his arms and slept. Exhausted, he dozed off sitting up. Dawn crept in. Vivian still slumbered. He eased his arm free and tucked the blanket around her. Only then did he see Jade's missed calls and Jamie's damning photo. His first reaction: anger. Why did Jamie even take that shot? Was Jade spying on him again? Couldn't he have breathing room? When she phoned, accusations crashed over him. He explained. She wouldn't believe. He coaxed. She called him perfunctory. Finally she said, "We're done," and hung up. Liam hurled the phone. Done? Who gave Jade the right? Tomorrow they were supposed to announce their engagement. Invitations sent. Media notified. The whole city knew Liam was marrying top actress Jade. She could end it with one sentence. He assumed it was another tantrum. She'd sulk a few days, then forgive. He even rehearsed his speech. Vivian's just a kid, why stoop to her level? But this time was different. She shut off her phone, deleted him, vanished. Next day he learned she'd flown back to Harbour and unilaterally cancelled the engagement. His parents were furious. When they phoned the Sterling family, the answer was impeccably distant. The children's affairs are theirs to settle. Liam felt as if he'd been slapped. Jade meant it. After the rage came confusion, then a creeping dread. He sent Jamie to snoop. The reports were, Sis really got hurt this time and Harbourside says she's staying in. He exhaled. Hurt meant she still cared. He suppressed the urge to chase her, let her taste the cost of arrogance. He, Liam, didn't need her. Vivian started appearing more often. Red-eyed, she blamed herself. "It's my fault, Jade misunderstood and you're suffering." She was compliant, nothing like stubborn Jade. She brewed calming tea when he was cranky, watched tedious finance news beside him in silence, whispered, "With Jade's brilliance she'll figure it out." Listening, the sting of Jade's cold dismissal dulled. True, Jade was smart. She had to understand. She was only stuck in a rut. He began taking Vivian to informal events. Friends joked that finally gets it, that this should have happened long ago. Vivian lowered her head shyly yet clutched his arm. Liam didn't shake her off. Maybe letting Jade see he had options was healthy. He still thought of her, on red carpets, radiant in couture, or curled on a sofa studying a script, or stamping in frustration yet unable to stay mad. Soon, though, Vivian's meek smile overrode those images. Vivian never argued, never scolded, she gazed at him with worship. Until the shot of Jade and Gideon surfaced. At first he insisted it was fake. Jade didn't even move in Gideon's orbit. But more details leaked. Cross Holdings issued a cryptic congratulations, and Harbour bigshots began liking the post. He had to admit Jade wasn't acting. Impossible, he snarled at Jamie. Gideon. Interested in Jade? She's just an actress. Jamie hesitated. She's top tier, Myra, not some rookie. Top. Liam laughed coldly. Without me propping her, she'd still be auditioning. Who handed her roles? Who opened doors? Now she fancies she can fly solo. He tossed back another drink. The alcohol scorched stomach and sanity alike. How could Jade leap into someone else's arms so fast? 2 years, worth nothing in her ledger. Vivian rang, voice trembling. People online call me homewrecker. What do I do? Ignore them, Liam growled. I'll fix it. But Jade is with Ellis now. Will she come after us? That question stabbed his pride. Come after? Jade dared. So what if she'd latched onto Gideon? He, Liam, wasn't some small-time player on the mainland. She tries and she'll regret it, he hissed. Let's see if Gideon breaks ties with me over a woman. Yet in the following days he felt the shift. Several deals froze, partners hedged. His father rang. Grim, did you offend Harbour? Even minor starlets looked at him differently. Jade kept silent. She had disappeared from his life, surfacing only in paparazzi shots, always dazzling. He began losing sleep. Alone at night the thought he'd buried crept in. What if, that night, he hadn't rushed to Vivian's hotel? What if he'd called Jade first and explained? If only. But there were no ifs. He kept repeating, I did nothing. I only comforted a little sister. Jade blew it out of proportion. She disappointed me. When the engagement announcement reached him, forwarded by a friend as a press clipping, he was nursing a whiskey in an empty bar. Chairman Gideon and actress Jade will wed next month in Harbour. Crimson liquor sloshed across the screen, smearing the words. Liam stared, laughed, louder and louder, until it turned into a hoarse cough. An engagement? he shouted at the vacant room. On what right? He pulled every string for the guest list. He'd confront her, unmask Gideon, show the city who truly cared. But he never made it past Jordan's gates. Bodyguards blocked him with courtesy like steel. Ingrid. No invitation, no entry. I'm Jade's fiancé, he barked. The guard didn't blink. Ellis's fiancé is Sterling, and her fiancé is Ellis. Humiliation washed over him like ice. He tried to push through. They pinned him effortlessly. From a balcony Jade appeared, gazing down, remote. Too far to read her face, yet he felt the weight detached, as if watching a stranger. Jade. Jade, he yelled. Look at me. I came. Come down. She didn't move. Soon Gideon joined her, hand resting naturally on her shoulder. He murmured something. Together they turned away. Never once did Jade meet his eyes. Tessa escorted him out. Riding back, Harbor's neon skyline blurred into cold streaks beyond the glass. He remembered her once whispering while watching the night view, "If you ever dump me, I'll flee to Harbor and never return." He had pinched her cheek, laughing. Why would I? Unless I'm insane. Insane wasn't far off now. Back on the mainland he spiraled. He skipped the office, drank all day in his penthouse. Vivian visited, first doting, then scarce. One day she arrived in tears. Her company was audited, every deal pulled, help me. Only then did he learn that, behind his back, Vivian had used his contacts to launch her own firm, hands not entirely clean. I only wanted to ease your load. I didn't want to rely on you forever. Staring at her pretty, tearful face, he felt a chill of unfamiliarity. He recalled Jamie hinting she wasn't so innocent. He'd dismissed it. Now he knew the fool was himself. Because of her company the Hayes name was dragged. His father collapsed and was hospitalized. Uncles voted unanimously, citing private misconduct harming clan interest, stripping him of every post at Sylvie. Overnight the crowned prince became a citywide punchline. And Jade's wedding dazzled on schedule. Every outlet flashed photos, she in a wedding gown, breathtaking. Gideon holding her hand on cathedral steps, sunlight enfolding them, perfection sharp enough to cut. Liam disabled all feeds. He left the downtown penthouse for a secluded house in the hills. Old friends rang, sympathy or curiosity, he brushed them off. At night he powered up an old phone and scrolled the few photos they had together. One showed her early in their dating, laughing so hard at his joke she lunged onto his back, eyes crescents, heart his. How did he lose her? Vivian? Partly, not wholly, because he was sure, so sure Jade loved him more than breath, that she would never walk. So he splurged on her tolerance, stomped her baseline, treated her love as inexhaustible credit. He kept calling her top-billed, Iron Lady, claiming she was strong, independent, needing none of the coddling Vivian required. But he'd forgotten, even iron bends, hearts bleed, tire, break. When disappointment accrues, exit becomes the only decisive choice. And he, prince turned pauper, grasped that truth too late. One evening a finance bulletin flashed Gideon's group at an international summit. Beside him stood Jade, tailored suit dress, poised, brilliant, no longer anyone's ex, no longer mere star, but acknowledged Mrs. Cross. Liam shut the TV. Outside, dusk swallowed the light. Sitting in the dimming room, he remembered Jade once telling him, "Liam, I want a love that's singular, partial to me, a fortress with no back door. If you can't give that, don't start." He had hugged her, joking, "Who else would I give it to?" He broke the promise. So, losing her utterly, forever, was exactly what he deserved. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this story? If you enjoyed it, like and share. We look forward to your comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next time.